Next, we have the winner of the hotel and leisure sector. It's a project in Cachamo in Chile. Delighted to welcome to the stage Contexto. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for inviting us here today. In southern Chile lies Tawa Shelter, a hotel for explorers seeking a connection with nature, a connection not always easy to achieve. Modernity limits and impoverish our capacity to explore. Digitalization and information depersonalize our surroundings, replacing memories with data and perception with stimuli and surprises, becoming insensitive to the quiet, the subtle, and everyday things that, though they may not stimulate us, anchor us to ourselves. I grew up in the city, but my clearest childhood memories were at the summers by the beach, endless days feeling the rhythmic sound of the sea, the warm sun, the salty skin, and the chill of the Pacific in my bones. Nature took center stage in these happy days where architecture played a quiet, essential role, a cozy wooden house with creaking floors, a cordon grass roof, the scent of food, and a window framing the sea. These simple elements created the perfect atmosphere for forever embedded the sensations of nature and well-being in my memory. Today, we are surrounded by non-places that threaten to minimize this impact, causing this experience to fade. The intimate connection of the body with place is at risk, and architecture has much to say. Designing this hotel was an invitation to explore how to foster this connection by asking my body what it needs from the built space to create an authentic experience. Chile is a land of nature. Long and narrow, its extraordinary natural heritage comes from the richness and diversity of its landscape. In the south lies the lakes region, the gateway to the Chilean Patagonia, a land of deep forests and raw mountains, giving rise to a culture deeply connected to the territory, a land of contrasts and diversity shaped by the climate and a geographic isolation which makes connections challenging but preserves local cultural and popular ingenuity, the very origins of sustainability. Designing in Chile requires embracing this extreme complexity. Tawa stands at the intersection of the Puelo River and the Tawa Lake, a special place for explorers who needs a refuge to return to each evening. So the territory and the tradition inspires Tawa's form, a shelter shaped like an A-frame house. It opens views to the tallest peaks for sunlight, while closing the roof's slight slopes to protect against the cold and rainy winds sweeping through the valley and the river. Inspired by local solutions, Tawa resonates with the many A-frame houses built in Chile, which are the results of adapting international architectural influences to local conditions. Its design is efficient and resistant, and Tawa adopts this model, modifying the scale and the traditional truss design to fit the specific terrain, open strategic views, and improve interior functionality. All structures were built in wood. Besides the well-known benefits of wood, ease of handling, precision, expressive freedom, lightness, and strength, one main reason was to value and enhance the local cultural heritage. The carpentry tradition in this region is rich, and Tawa integrates its element to create dialogue with it. Influences such as riverbank carpentry for chilotes boat making reflect a deep knowledge and respect for natural resources. or the model of houses raised on stilts, adapted to areas with humidity and rain, ideally suited to Tawa's design, located by a river with floods that constantly reshape the terrain. The Chilote churches are also a remarkable example of engineering and advanced construction techniques, as they use wood joinery without nails, employing complex connections that demonstrate a high carpentry skill. Tawa's wooden structure also promotes the use of industrialized wood. Prefabricating elements is undoubtedly advantageous to constructions in remote areas, but the use of industrialized wood primarily responds to the urgent need to encourage a more sustainable path, considering the construction sector's impact in the environment and society. So, in an effort to conserve resources, reduce waste and emissions, and enhance local knowledge, consider the isolation and environmental conditions, Tawa's challenge was to strike a balance by combining traditional construction techniques with mechanized assemblies, raw and laminated timber, natural materials and color stains, cladding and exposed structures. Tawa is an epic work conceived in times of pandemic and executed by skilled carpenters, a more socially, economically, and environmentally solution. My challenge as an architect is to approach each project with empathy, collaboration, and a sense of community. These relationships flourish in a space of respect where context is valued and guides us. Authentic experience and the connection with place are my starting points. Architecture impacts our routines, guiding us, suggesting where to go, how to feel, how to behave in our daily lives. In today's fragmented world affected by unsustainable practices, environmental crisis, and extreme polarization, we live in an experience of daily disconnection with little trust and detachment from place. Tawa is an invitation to reconnect with everything the world has to offer, the richness of things, natures, and others, but especially with our own embodied experience. The immersion in nature is an immersion in ourselves, where we are both protected and exposed to the contrast of the shelter and the outdoors, a simple yet meaningful way of living, under a large roof that shelters the body without detaching it from the place. Neuroscience has taught us that in an experience centered on the body, multiple senses are activated, transforming the information we receive from surroundings into sensations, then generating a beautiful and complex system of resonances, contributing to the formation of our bodily memories. Rather than evoking nostalgia for the past or happy childhood memories, I'm speaking of the present possibility of inhabiting future memories. An experience of the world profoundly mediated by the body in places with scale, movement, and atmosphere, where the active perception between the body and surrounding is constant and dynamic, a rich and complex multisensory experience, where our haptic sense is stimulated, and so is our peripheral vision, to encourage imagination and evoke intense emotional responses, to connect people with each other and their environment, to foster bonds, introspection, and the creation of unique personal stories. I speak of a common world with light, shadow, care, silence, and openness. A place where the experience of embodiment occurs, from which to observe and understand the world. Tao embodies an architecture of simplicity that promotes an ethic of care, one that invites us to raise our gaze, realigning our posture, one that is touched through lights and shadows, stimulating our tactile imagination, a space that is traversed by listening to it, to access high points and intimate corners, closing our eyes to breathe in and look out, inhabiting our human condition.
First, a big congratulations. I mean, it's a very sensitive project. It's very surprising or sensational to use a very conventional, let's say, technique or very conventional solution, but achieving to a very genuine and one-of-a-kind, let's say, at the end of the day, object. It's sensational. I like it. And how being a part of the context and the topography as well, like you were always there. It's not, you never understand if it's brand new or it was always there, but when you enter to the building, as well as I understood from the photographs, you see that something happened there. I mean, I think this is a very well example of being in between the shiny architecture or brilliant architecture, let's say, and like being a craftsman. I mean, which is a very nice example of this one. This is just a comment. My question is how it was received by the community. I mean, this is a hotel, right?
Yes.
Is it a luxury hotel?
Well, the experience, I think it's luxury because it's all focused in going out and explore. The rooms are quite simple and they have like 3 kind of budgets, so to make it accessible, but also to target someone that really goes there. And the restaurant is an open restaurant. So everyone in the community, because here there is a hidden community with houses built in the mountains, and they can all go and have dinner there. And also this place has been working with community in order to organize recycling or organize a little bit like to gather together. So, see.
Thank you.
I'm interested, I quite like the link between what I'd call the ecclesiastical references of the churches and this sanctuary with nature, which is sort of possibly the religion of our age in many ways. And in thinking about that, did you consider the body, not the embodiment of senses, but the body and the biological processes of the body to do with day-to-day 24-hour activities, going to the toilet, getting energy, closing down lights? What aspect of that environmental strategy to do with the body was challenging in this area?
Okay, I think I understand the question. Okay, going out from the restaurant to the rooms is a double strategy. For one side, we are also living like in comfort spaces that doesn't allow us to regulate our temperature, corporality as a superpower, and we should practice on it. But also, that give me the chance of not climatizing like excessive square meters. And so getting rid of that, I'm kind of winning a double situation there by consuming less energy and just focus these resources in the ones that we really need, which is a warm bath, a cozy bed, a nice fire, and a healthy food. Just that after exploring nature. Other way, we lose that daily like luxury experience. So it is.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to ask one other one, which is to do with the corrugated tin roof, which is obviously slightly traditional in 20th century tradition, let's say. Is there an acoustic issue? Because when it rains, does that roof make a noise that is unnatural?
It's more like the rain clacking into the window we had it in the roof. Mm-hmm. It's that sensation more than in the metal roof, because inside it's very, very well done, the acoustic, because of all the wood, and the sensation of this rain also kind of remind us a tent, como a connection with.
But if I'm outside this venue and it's raining, what do I hear? The rain on the tin roof? Or can I hear the rain on the trees?
Es que the rain is so powerful, the tempests are so powerful that you will listen to that. You will experience the environment and just that.
Yeah.
See?
Okay.
Yes, well, maybe it's part of the experience, the noise of the rain in the buildings, no? It's a part of the experience living there. But because the pictures looks like taken in the summer, if I'm wrong, but what the climate in the wintertime?
It's a very hard climate. I could tell that during July and August is really, you need to be tough to go in there. And the clients, which are beautiful people, they are explorers and they used to know this valley. So this is why they invest in this, just to share. So they are promoting like an all year round experience of nature, because we need to experience this contrast with real nature. We can't be always searching for the good moment. Nature is all way round.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I quite like the simplicity of, especially the room, the bedrooms. That looks like a little cottage, very simple. And I feel the luxury of this project is about what is outside more than what is inside. Try not to shouting too much with architecture and try to keep it calm and then get this relationship from inside to outside. So I think it's very gentle. And the question about, like Jens asking, was the reference, the church, but this church come from where?
From Chiloé. Chiloé is the big island, it's an archipelago, but the main island, it's kind of the start of the insular part of Chile, and it's quite special. As every island, it has developed its own culture, and it received the Jesuit missions and the German colonization, and both bring, I think, from all the way around from Japan, these skills of joinery, which are amazing, and we are doing all our best to put them in value. And they have developed this both craft making, the churches, and so many other wooden instruments beautifully, besides other aspects of the culture.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to extend that question when you talked of skill of joinery and German colonial influence and all of that. So there's a lot of timber. It's almost entirely timber, architecture, structure, interior. And whilst it's a continuation of a historic way of building in this context, but given sustainability concerns, did you consider any other material other than timber to execute this project?
No. No, it was obvious it should have been always built in wood.
So do you know anything about the sourcing of this timber? Is it a renewable forestry source, or is it, how is it sourced?
It's absolutely, it's everything, it's pine. Yeah. So we have a combination in between the laminated timber, which is provided by an industrial manufacturer, Chilean one, who is very committed to the sustainable path. He's been in Chile forever, and he's always like improving the techniques to be like really high standard. He's commercializing now in Europe, in Middle East. Like we have, I think, like the best quality of, or a huge commitment. And then we have like the impregnate timber, which is also provided by certificates locals. So there's not like a natural, native.
Okay.
You've convinced me to go to the one place on the planet I'd love to go.
I was so glad to receive you,
Thank
to
you.
welcome you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
For the presentation, please welcome Nick Bafana, who's a leader at Grower Americas, both North and South. Nick, please join us.